This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Tuesday, August 17. In Squiz Kids Today, Afghanistan explained, India's dancing policeman, Peter Bowles' big race win, and the really tall giraffe baby. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
A country you're going to hear a lot about in the news this week is Afghanistan. And that's because in the early hours of yesterday morning, the capital city Kabul was taken over by a group called the Taliban. It saw the government of Afghanistan, including its president, flee the country, which in turn provoked scenes of panic on the streets of Kabul and at its airport as many ordinary Afghans tried to get out too. Afghans is the name given to people who come from Afghanistan. The Taliban ruled Afghanistan 20 years ago, putting in place many laws at the time that were condemned by the international community, which is to say other countries around the world, including laws that meant girls could not go to school, that television and movies were not allowed in the country, and women were forbidden from appearing in public without an all-body covering or a male escorting them. There are fears now that those laws will be reintroduced. So, what does it have to do with us here? Well, lots of Afghans live in Australia, and until very recently, Australia had troops in Afghanistan fighting against the Taliban, and many local Afghans worked alongside our troops, helping them with the language and helping them navigate the foreign culture and countryside. Now, the safety of those Afghans who helped us is under threat, and the pressure is on the Australian government to bring as many of them back to Australia as possible. Closer to home, and playground closures, a nighttime curfew, and restrictions on the number of people from any household allowed to exercise together are among measures announced yesterday as part of a 2-week extension of Melbourne's lockdown. Sorry, Melbourne. It means, of course, more home learning for Melbourne students, which, you'd have to admit, you're the country's best at, having had so much practice. That's called trying to put a silver lining on a dark cloud. Don't forget, we're doing home learning herograms here at Squiz Kids for any parents or teachers or kids in lockdown who want to send a shout out to their kids, class or classmates. Keep listening for details.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in India, where a police officer in the country's largest city, Mumbai, has become internet famous for dancing. Before he became a constable in the police force, Amol Kamble performed folk dances with his brother and even considered becoming a professional dancer. The 39-year-old dad taught himself what he calls Western dance moves, the kind you see on TikTok all the time, and started posting videos to that platform. He had 2.5 million likes and more than 100,000 followers before TikTok was banned in India. He's now switched over to Instagram and has already racked up more than 28,000 followers. Busting moves and fighting crime. What a guy. Even if his dad dancing moves are next level daggy. I've put links to a video of the dancing cop in your episode notes.
Sport time.
You know what the mark of a true sporting champion is? Never giving in. Picking yourself up no matter what the result, dusting yourself down, and getting ready to crush it in your next game, race or competition. Which is exactly what Australian middle-distance runner Peter Bowles has gone and done, winning an 800-metre race in Poland yesterday. Remember how Peter set Australia on fire during the Olympics when he ran in the 800-metre final and came in 4th place? The best bit from this most recent race is that he beat the bloke from Poland who beat him to the bronze medal in Tokyo. Peter Bowles, we salute you.
Animal Kingdom.
And so to the American city of Boston we go, where zookeepers are still celebrating the birth of a baby giraffe, and are astounded by how tall it is. Dolly, the giraffe, was born just over 2 weeks ago, and while giraffes are known to be tall, even the baby ones, Dolly has still surprised her keepers by measuring a whopping 6 feet tall at birth. That's the height of a tall human. And she weighed a whopping 68 kilograms at birth. For comparison, the average weight for a human baby at birth is 3.5 kilograms. And if that doesn't give you some cool maths work to get on with today, I don't know what will. There's a video in today's episode notes of not so little Dolly in her enclosure. Those eyelashes of hers are epic. Attention all parents and teachers, Squiz Kids needs you. You know that we love bringing you the podcast every day, and we've been humbled at how you and your kids have embraced us and brought us into your lives. It's a lot of work each day, though, and we have one small favour to ask in return. So that we can make Squiz Kids even better, we've come up with a survey to find out what we're doing well, what we could do better, and what other sorts of resources you might like to see from us. It only takes 5 minutes to do. The link is in your episode notes. And everyone that fills it out goes into the draw to win a $200 Booktopia voucher. I know, right? So generous. Oh, and kids, I know you're champing at the bit, but this one's just for the big people. Thank you.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. In which country has a dancing policeman gone viral? That's right, it's India. Question number 2. What's the name of the Aussie runner who just won a race in Poland? Yeah, it's Peter Bowl. Question number 3. Dolly was born at 6 feet tall. What sort of animal is she? That's right, she's a giraffe.
Shout-outs.
It's August 17, Independence Day in our neighbouring country Indonesia, and it's National Vanilla Custard Day in the United States. Not sure why they have so many national days for desserts there. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Hayden from Nowra, Max from Balgownie, Zali from Oatley, Beatrice from Whale Beach, Harrison from Gymea Bay, Edith from Ivanhoe, Evie from Sydney, India from Shoal Bay, and Catherine and Hilly from Hornsbury. And a belated birthday shout-out goes to Yashar from Canberra. Plus, because our friends in Melbourne and all of New South Wales are in lockdown, boo, we're sending out home learning herograms. First up, Akeen would like to send a herogram to his teacher Miss Brown at Mount View Primary School in Glen Waverley. Another herogram from Class 3-4A at St Anne's Primary School in Park Orchards. They want to send a big thank you to their teacher, Mrs Arbuthnot, for making home learning lots of fun. Dara, in Class 5B at St Charles Primary School in Waverley, sends a home learning shout-out to her class who have been homeschooling now for 6 weeks. And one more herogram goes to the Stage 3 teachers at Woongarra Public School from your Grade 5 students. Plus, a couple of classroom shout-outs to those of you not in lockdown. To Class 2B and Miss Good at St Ignatius School in Toowong. To Class 5.2 at All Hallows School in Brisbane. And lastly, to Class 5G at Francis Jordan Catholic School in Currumbine, Western Australia. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, or you'd like to send a home learning herogram, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids.
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.